The concept of miracles at sea, particularly focusing on Jesus commanding a storm to cease, is a captivating narrative within the Christian tradition that exemplifies divine intervention and power over natural elements. A miracle, as traditionally understood, is an extraordinary event that defies natural law and is attributed to a divine agency. In the context of sea miracles, these events often involve overcoming formidable challenges posed by water, a symbol of chaos and uncertainty in many ancient cultures. The significance of Jesus calming the storm lies not only in its testament to his divine authority, but also in its metaphorical representation of bringing peace and order amidst tumultuous circumstances. The story of Jesus calming the storm is recounted in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, where Jesus quiets a fierce storm on the Sea of Galilee, leaving his disciples in awe. This account is significant as it reinforces the belief in Jesus' divine nature and his dominion over creation, serving as a reassurance of faith to believers facing life's metaphorical storms. In practical or real-world terms, this narrative has been used to inspire calmness and trust in leadership during crises. For instance, during difficult times, such as natural disasters or personal turmoil, religious leaders and lay people alike may draw parallels between these events and the biblical account to foster hope and perseverance. Supporters of this concept argue that such miracles serve as faith reaffirmers, providing a tangible connection to the divine and demonstrating that nothing is beyond divine control. This narrative also holds potential challenges and controversies, particularly from a scientific perspective, where empirical evidence is lacking to support the occurrence of such miracles. Skeptics may argue that these stories are allegorical rather than literal accounts, serving as moral or spiritual lessons rather than historical events. The connection of sea miracles to other aspects of Jesus' ministry is profound. These events highlight Jesus' role as a figure of ultimate authority, offering solace and protection. They also complement other miracles and teachings, depicting a holistic image of divine compassion and power. Furthermore, these miracles serve to fortify the faith community by providing a shared narrative that emphasizes the divine's intercession during times of need. In sum, miracles at sea, like Jesus calming the storm, enrich the broader narrative of divine intervention and continue to resonate as beacons of hope and trust in the face of adversity. The biblical account of Jesus commanding the storm to cease is a vivid episode from the New Testament, specifically found in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke. In this narrative, Jesus and his disciples are on a boat when a sudden and violent storm arises, threatening to capsize them. As the disciples panic, Jesus awakens and commands the storm, "Peace, be still!" And immediately the wind dies down, and there is a great calm. This miraculous event not only showcases Jesus' divine authority over nature, but also serves as a powerful metaphor for faith amidst life's turbulent challenges. The significance of this account within the broader topic of miracles at sea lies in its demonstration of Jesus' mastery over the natural world, reinforcing his divine identity. It emphasizes the theme of trust, illustrating the power of faith to overcome fear. This story reassures believers that divine intervention is possible even in the most dire circumstances, reinforcing faith in God's omnipotence and presence during times of crisis. Real-world applications of this narrative are abundant, particularly in spiritual and psychological frameworks. One example is its use in therapeutic settings, where individuals facing metaphorical storms in life draw comfort and strength from the story, learning to cultivate inner peace and trust in the divine. Another is its inspirational role in literature and art, where the calming of the storm symbolizes triumph over chaos or adversity, resonating in various cultural contexts and personal struggles. Support for this idea often comes from theological interpretations that see the story as an assurance of God's sovereignty and care for humanity. Many believers interpret it as evidence of Jesus' compassion and his ability to bring tranquility into human turmoil. However, this concept is not without its challenges and alternative viewpoints. Skeptics may question the literalness of the event, proposing metaphorical interpretations instead. Some may argue that such accounts foster an unrealistic expectation of divine intervention in human problems, leading to potential disenchantment when outcomes differ from hoped-for narratives. This episode connects deeply with other aspects of Jesus' miracles, each highlighting different facets of his divine mission. Together, they portray a comprehensive picture of Jesus' power, compassion, and the transformative potential of faith. Overall, the calming of the storm remains a profound source of inspiration and theological reflection, enriching the understanding of miracles performed at sea and their enduring impact on faith traditions. The heading "Symbolism and Meaning Behind the Miracle" refers to the deeper significance of Jesus commanding the storm to cease, which goes beyond the surface-level account of calming turbulent waters. This miracle from the New Testament is rich in symbolic meaning, representing themes such as divine authority, faith, and the triumph of spiritual over natural forces. Jesus' ability to still the storm highlights his divine nature and reassures believers of his control over chaos and adversity in their lives. This point is significant because it emphasizes the overarching theme of faith and divine intervention within the gospel narratives. The miracle serves as a profound metaphor for the spiritual peace that Jesus offers, transcending the physical world and touching upon deeper existential anxieties. This assurance of divine mastery over the natural order comforts believers, reinforcing their trust in divine providence during life's storms. An example that illustrates this symbolism is the use of this story in pastoral teachings to encourage faith during times of turmoil. Believers are often reminded that, much like the apostles in the storm-tossed boat, they should remain faithful in the face of life's uncertainties. Another real-world application is seen in therapeutic settings, where narrative therapy employs such stories to help individuals visualize overcoming personal challenges through faith or finding inner peace amidst disorder. Supporting opinions often come from theologians and spiritual leaders who underscore this miracle as central to understanding Jesus' divine authority and the power of faith. They argue that this story encapsulates core Christian tenets of trust and divine benevolence, fostering spiritual resilience. However, challenges and controversies arise particularly from skeptical viewpoints or those advocating for non-literal interpretations. Critics might question the feasibility of such miracles, suggesting they are allegorical rather than historical accounts. Some argue that if taken literally, the focus might shift from spiritual lessons to miraculous spectacle, which could undermine the depth of faith that requires trust without the need for signs and wonders. This point of symbolism and meaning influences other aspects of the main topic by linking the miracle at sea to broader theological discussions about Jesus' identity and mission. It ties into themes of salvation, grace, and the transformative power of faith that are prevalent throughout the New Testament narratives. Understanding this symbolic layer enriches the interpretation of not just this miracle, but the entire message of divine presence and peace in the Christian faith. Theological interpretations and insights into the miracle of Jesus commanding the storm to cease offer a layered understanding of this biblical narrative. At its core, this concept delves into how this miracle, described in the Synoptic Gospels, reveals the divine authority and nature of Jesus. The act of calming the storm serves not merely as a demonstration of power over nature, but also as an expression of Jesus' identity as the Son of God, embodying divine sovereignty over chaos and the natural world. The significance of this point is profound as it shifts our perception of the miracle from a historical event to a theological affirmation. For believers, this narrative is not just about miraculous intervention, but symbolizes spiritual assurance and faith in divine protection amidst life's turbulent moments. In theological discourse, this miracle is often interpreted as an invitation to trust in Jesus' power and presence, even when circumstances seem uncontrollable. Real-world applications of these interpretations can be seen in spiritual counseling and faith-based community support, where individuals facing crises are encouraged to draw strength from this narrative. The story is frequently used in sermons to reinforce themes of hope and faith during adversities. Additionally, it's a cornerstone for theological reflections on the nature of divine intervention and faith during trials. Opinions supporting this interpretation highlight Jesus' dual nature, fully human and fully divine, and reflect on how this event exemplifies his mastery over creation, reinforcing foundational Christian beliefs about his divinity and providence. Scholars also suggest that this miracle reassures believers that spiritual calmness can prevail in the midst of external turmoil, mirroring Christ's promise of peace. However, challenges and alternative viewpoints exist. Skeptics might argue that such miracles are metaphorical rather than literal, emphasizing symbolic readings over factual occurrences. Others may see it as an allegory for the calming influence of faith, rather than a historical account, thus opening avenues for diverse theological reflections. This theological insight influences other aspects of the main topic by connecting the miracle to broader themes of divine authority, faith, and salvation history. It enriches the narrative of miracles at sea with layers of spiritual meaning, inviting believers to explore deeper dimensions of biblical stories. In doing so, this interpretation not only underscores the miraculous event, but also emphasizes the historic and spiritual journey towards a deeper faith in divine power and presence.